good evening, and welcome to another episode of your daily show, Achievements. I'm your host, Fatma Al-Hajri, and I'm joined by my co-host, Abdul Latif. Good evening, Abdul Latif.
Good evening, Fatma, and as my colleague said, we are your hosts and we will walk you through this episode, so stay tuned after this report.
A successful identity is built on things a person has done. Your most important accomplishments are a very important way for you to measure your success. Colleagues, competitors, and the general public can look at a person's achievements to figure out how successful they are. Most of the time, putting in a lot of work pays off. Most people think a successful life is one of a lot of things to be proud of. When you finish a task, you win over problems or other people. Achieve means to work together to reach a hard and challenging goal. Everyone should be ready to help out and work together if they need to. There are many ways to reach your goal, but in the end, it's up to you to decide how it will pay out in your life. In their careers, some people want to get rich and will be well known. Some people think that even small victories are reasons to have a party. We're all different, so we all have our own thoughts on everything. In the end, though, everyone wants to be happy, and everything you do in life will help you to get closer to that ultimate goal.
Welcome back, our viewers. Tonight we're having with us a really professional photographer, but in a whole new concept of photography. The underwater photography is a new field in Kuwait, yet our guest and his team have already managed to get the first and the second place in worldwide on that field. Our guest and his team is the first Arab team that participated in the World Championship. Please welcome with us Mr. Mahdi bin Haidar. Welcome, Mr. Mahdi, and thank you for to come here and to be as our guest in this show.
Good evening. Thank you very much to have me here and talk about my achievement or my team and what we have done in Underwater Photography Championship.
It is our pleasure to have you here. Of course, we have a lot of questions for you, and I think our dear viewers are really interested in this kind of photography scene.
Underwater photography, not any other photography.
Yeah.
And since I took some background about you and about the field that you into, I got really interested.
It's really difficult to make them together. At the beginning, I was using just the camera above the water, and it was really beautiful to shoot above the ground and above the sea, but I decided just to start doing that underwater.
Under the water?
Yeah, I need to see what they have. How can I take a picture and show to other people, non-divers? So my challenge was to do a scuba diving course at the beginning, and when I went there to have my first license, they told me, you cannot take your camera directly up in the first license. You have to finish the first license, second license, and check your buoyancy. Should be a perfect buoyancy to holding your camera with you all the time. So I started that in 2010, I think. It was my first dive. After that, course after course, until I got my underwater photography license. So from that time, I got my camera with me all the time.
So you weren't actually going into scuba diving to dive into water, but to actually, the main goal was to film everything underwater.
Exactly.
It's different from each other, right?
Exactly. You need to be familiar with your camera above the water at the first, to know how the button works underwater, because when you put the camera inside the case, it's going to be different from above the water. So you have to practice all the time with your camera, with your bottoms, flash as well, strobe lights, all that equipment you need it beside the scuba diving equipment itself. So it's really difficult to have two equipment with you all the time.
It's
scuba
really
diving
different.
and camera, yeah.
Of course, yes, it's really different. But I wanted to ask you, do I have to be a professional diver to be a photographer underwater?
You should be a photographer above the water to know the manual, the f-stop, what is the ISO or what is the shutter speed, all that information you need to know it to take it with you under the water. So at least you can take a good picture with a good light, without any noise underwater because, you know, at the 5 meter, you will lose the light from the sun. So you need to change the light with the flash or strobe light.
Of course.
And, it's really rare to see something like that. Do you think that's also Fatma?
I think that's very rare, especially in Kuwait. I think it can be very hard to actually do that because you mentioned there's a lot of different licenses you have to take first.
Yeah.
And after that, you actually have to be interested in photography. There's a lot of things you need to know in order to be an underwater photographer.
Exactly.
Can you tell us about your home ground and how did you start it at first?
Let me tell you something. We have a treasure here in Kuwait, which is the sea. Some countries, they don't have the sea. So when all your family, or it's like a culture when you do the diving to find what they called it in English, dana, I think. So it's something like, we used to have it in our culture, the diving itself. But because we have the seaside, we do all the time the swimming in the summertime, and when you go to the chalet and dive with your family or just swimming with your family. I tried to do the scuba diving. So when I did the scuba diving at the beginning, it's really difficult. It's not like, yeah, let me do the scuba diving directly. But with the practice, as I said before, with the practice you will be perfect underwater with your equipment, the diving equipment, not the camera. Year after year, year after year. And of course, if you go to another country where the Red Sea, for example, the visibility is different from Kuwait and the other countries. So you will find a new experience in that country.
Every time you dive in different countries.
In different country, yeah.
Of course, and you mentioned there are some struggles in the beginning when you learned how to scuba dive.
Exactly.
Can you share some of the struggles with us?
Yeah, because it's something new with you. When you wear the equipment, how can I breathe? How can I do the buoyancy? How I will be on the bottom or on the top? I don't know all those information. So with the practice or with a trainer or an instructor with you, no, you have to do a little bit of weight, add weight to make your buoyancy perfect. Okay, you have two regulators. One, it's like a safety one for the other bodies. Or you can use it if you have any problem with your regulator where we take the air from our tank. It's like a hose with the equipment, you put it on your mouth, so you breathe normally, same as above the water. So you have some problem at the beginning.
Of course, that can be a little bit hard, but you have tried scuba diving, have you?
I tried it. It was really hard at first. Yeah. I tried it before I learned how to swim at first.
Yeah, you have to do it.
Ironic.
Exactly. To be honest, it's not like just go to the sea and jump. You have to do the course at the beginning.
Inside the swimming pool, yes,
a swimming pool.
True.
Also, there is lessons in the classroom, so the instructor will be with you all the time, even under the water, until you graduate from the scuba diving course. You get your license, so you always have to have a buddy with you to dive, so you don't dive alone. That's
of course
our rule.
That's
dive
dangerous.
Alone, die alone. It's the first rule on the book. Dive alone, die alone. So we don't dive alone. Always with a buddy.
We will not dive alone.
Exactly.
Thank you for that advice.
Yeah.
But I think it's more fun when you learn how to dive and when you go like alone, because you want to like free diving, what it's called.
It's a free diving without equipment, but also there is a safety with you. Your friends is going to be with you as well.
You have to bring someone
Yeah.
with you, more
You don't-
experience
yeah.
with also.
More experience, even if it's at the same level with you, he should be there all the time. Anything happen, he will assist you to bring you outside from the deep or from anywhere you are.
And coming back to Mehdi and
Yeah.
your professional career, why did you choose underwater photography as a field to walk on?
I like the sea. All the Kuwaiti, maybe 50% of the Kuwaiti, they like the seaside. Something we have to try something new. Well, we know the football, it's common in the Kuwait. Other, for example, basketball or other sports, it's common in Kuwait. Let's talk about the football. It's common everywhere. But the scuba diving, maybe 10% from the people in the world, they do the scuba diving, only 10%.
That's
But
interesting. I
yeah,
thought
so
it was
not all
a
the
lot more.
people, they know about what's under the water, what they have. if you dive and just see, as what you said before, fish, wow, the color is different when you see it on the TV. So when you see it with your real eyes, or even sharks.
Is it better? Or maybe on TV they edit it a little bit
They
to make the
they
colors
edit with
more
the
bright.
contrast, with the
But I
lights.
think the
with
experience is
Yeah.
a lot more joyful.
yeah,
It's better.
When-
Seriously,
Yes.
when I dived,
Yeah.
I dived for like 3 hours, and I think it was on Al Maradim.
yeah,
And I've seen fishes that I've never known, and I've never thought that it will be here in Kuwait.
Exactly.
I swear about that, and it was really magical.
yeah. If you go to the Red Sea, you will see colors, you will see type of fish. It's really, really like shocked. Wow, wow, all the time. Wow, wow, wow. What's that? How it goes like that? Even the fish when they eat, for example, the behavior of the fish, even the sharks. I did once in Red Sea with the hammerhead shark, and when it's past, it's amazing. It's a big fish, bigger than you, so you will be shocked.
That
at
must
the
have been
beginning.
very scary.
Yeah, but believe me, they don't do anything until you just hit them or do any
Yes.
harms to them. That's the
The
big
hammer
issue.
shark, I think it's peaceful. The hammer shark.
Hammer
The,
sharks, yeah.
the sword
yeah.
shark, I think you should run away
No,
as
it's
soon as you see
the,
it.
the great white shark. That's the you won't dive with it. I think they dive it with they dive with a cage. I think something like that. But I don't prefer to do it.
It's too dangerous.
Yeah,
Of
it's
course.
dangerous.
And
yeah.
when it comes to your first dive in open water,
yeah.
what was that like and where was it exactly?
It was in we call the place Bnaya. It's near Al Khairan. So it's not like deep. It's 8 meters, and we were 4 or 5 students on that course. It was something new, so you will. I was scared, to be honest. I'm going to breathe normally. Is it okay? Let me check my equipment. Everything is there. Yeah, that's what I was in that time. But right now, no. It's big different
Of course.
from the first dive, and I think the last dive we did in Aqaba, Jordan, and it was the second Arabian underwater photography championship. Right now we are doing like rig dive, wide angle dive, for example, for the photographer or for the photography, wide angle dive. Sometimes we do night dive. Night dive is different from the morning or the sun's
Yeah, a lot of people tell me
experience.
even the
Yeah.
animals and the fish
you,
under
you
the
will
water
see the
is,
behavior of the animal.
different.
It's different. Even the animal itself comes out different animal.
Yes.
Even
So-
the behavior
The behavior
becomes different.
So some of the fish they don't eat in morning time.
They eat on night
Yeah.
as a dinner. Maybe
Yeah.
they're not hungry in the morning.
No, because they can't catch the fish. The fish like
It's dark.
sleep,
Yeah, I see
Yes.
them. Yes.
dark, everything. I think there are
Is
lots
it
of feed-
scarier at night to dive?
First time, yeah, but it's the most beautiful dive I did. I did one in Kubbar and one in Garo. With the light, it's amazing. You will see the colors different. Sometimes we put like a light from the top, from the boat itself, so you will see the animals, small animals around the light. So it's different type of animals. You can't see it on the bottom of the sea. So it's really nice when you have it. At least do it twice.
Of
That's
course,
all.
I will
Yeah.
It's really
definitely give
good.
it a
Yeah.
try. I think I'm gonna try scuba diving.
Oh,
I
you
think this
should.
is
Yeah. It's
something
fun.
I've always wanted to do.
It's really nice.
Of course.
Right now in Kuwait, we have like, I don't want to say a number, but we have huge number of divers, male and females. Even instructor. Right now we have female instructor, also male. So you can do easy in Kuwait.
And it's not that expensive.
It's not expensive, and my opinion, to do it in Kuwait, it's better than to do it in other countries, because our visibility is not that clear. So you will be perfect scuba diver when you graduate from Kuwait. So when you dive anywhere around the world, it will be easy for you.
But coming back to the championships and
Yeah.
your career,
Yeah.
What does the championships represent to you and for Mehdi and his team?
To be honest, it's a challenge. When you go to a country, you never dive in there or you never visited. For example, our first time we participate in championship, and it was in Porto Santo, Portuguese island, where is Madeira, they called it. It's our first time to be in the Atlantic Ocean. And we don't know what is the rule of the championship. We know photography is just take a photo, print it, or just send it by email to participate in any competition. But in the World Championship, under the World Underwater Federation, CMAS, there is a rule. You cannot go under 30 meters. There is a rule. You cannot stay until more than 90 minutes. Sorry.
Even for the equipment, I think there's rules, right?
For the equipment, if you have like professional camera, you will have only one category to participate in. If you have a compact camera, there is another category. What else? There is like many type of photography: fish, wide angle with diver, wide angle without diver, rake, for example, micro, all those type of photography, and the participant or the athlete himself choose the part where he want to participate. So there is a rule. You have 4 categories to participate. Photographer is different, videographer is different. So they make it like a sport, as same as the football, for example.
It is a sport.
Yeah.
Yes, it is, of course.
Some people, they say
Because
underwater
it's
photography.
diving and it's also photography, so it's a mix of sports and art at the same time.
Yeah, exactly. It's like sport, art, sport.
And diving is hard.
It's really hard.
It needs a lot of stamina.
And you need to camp in that country, at least to a training camp, to see the visibility, the water temperature, the weather there as well.
The water speed.
Everything.
Because
the
that
currents,
also affect
currents, the equipment. Do you need the normal shorts or wetsuit or dry suit with the or wetsuit with the thickness? So all that you need to do it in the training camp. It was really challenge. On the other hand, it's experience and communication with other people from other countries.
It's fun and
you
good.
you can find a new technique from them, how they do that picture, how they took that picture, what they use, what's the camera they use it.
It's really interesting, Mehdi, for
it's
that.
really nice.
And sorry for cutting you out, but we stay with us, ladies and gentlemen, as we learn more about Mehdi in this report.
Mehdi bin Haider is a Kuwaiti civil engineer and the team manager of Kuwait Underwater Photography. Mehdi is also a CMAS Visual Commission member and director at Kuwait Diving and Life Saving Club, CMAS, which stands for World Underwater Federation. Mehdi bin Haider has earned the seat of Kuwait State Representative in International Diving Federation in Underwater Photography Committee. Mehdi has also joined many dives outside of Kuwait, such as Iran and Jordan. Moreover, in Kuwait he has joined an underwater photography and video championship. Kuwait Underwater Photography team participated in the 18th World Championship and has managed to win the 4th place in 2 categories, which are photo and video. Moreover, the team also won the 1st and 3rd place in the 1st Arabian Championship to be held in Sharm el-Sheikh for underwater photography. The team also won 1st place in wide angle diver, 2nd in micro, and 3rd in wide angle. Mahdi, along with the Kuwait underwater photography team, has joined a championship for photography underwater in Portugal, Puerto Santo. The championship that was held in Portugal was considered challenging as it required certain rules and objectives in order to win. Therefore, we are very proud of the Kuwait underwater photography team for representing our country Kuwait. The team managed to practice a total of 7 to 8 dives before the championship in order to participate in the first tournament. Not only does the team have to practice diving, but also to practice the uses of camera, photos and videos underwater. A total of 22 countries participating in the championship held in Puerto Santo. Kuwait is the first, one and only Arab country to participate. Underwater photography is a hobby and sport which is still considered new in our country Kuwait. Recently, Kuwait has formed a team for the sport and had been participating inside and abroad. The sport does include strict rules that must be followed by each candidate. Photos taken underwater should not be edited nor defined in order for a contestant to win. We carry our pride and confidence to the Kuwait underwater photography team for their hard work and taking Kuwait's name to the worldwide.
Welcome back, dear viewers. We have with us Mahdi. Of course, Mahdi, we were talking earlier about the competitions and how it's very important to exchange culture with different people when you visit their countries and you learn more about some of the tips and techniques.
Yeah, actually when we did that in Porto Santo Island, all the people there, all the participate, please, when is the next championship in Kuwait? I said, hopefully we can do it in Kuwait. They need to come here and take some photos in our sea. But unfortunately, our visibility doesn't make that good photos if you take like a world championship in Kuwait. However, I need to say that we are going to do free diving world championship. It's the first world championship in Kuwait. It's going to be in May. So we have like other competition, not like photography, but it's really nice when you change the culture with other country. It's really nice. They said, what do you speak? Arabic? Okay, teach us how to speak Arabic. Even right now we can learn some words from other country. That's really nice. It's leave the techniques and the photography and the championship. It's like a friendship. Until now we have our friendship on Facebook, Instagram. Please come visit us. Let's visit you. It's really nice to be in championship.
Of course, and like we watched from the report earlier, I saw a lot of group of people. They seemed really happy and excited, and to have this amazing experience with them, as you mentioned, not just learn about the tips from the dives, but also learn about the culture and the language. I think that's very impressive.
It is very impressive. Of course, so you want to travel.
Yeah.
Joined a competition.
Exactly.
Another country had some fun with your friends.
Exactly.
Okay, what more do we need? It's really fun.
Our next world championship is going to be in Cuba, Havana, and from Havana we have to go to other.
The sea there is wonderful.
So it's going to be in Cayo Largo. It's my first time. Hopefully I'll be there. I'm excited to be there. I don't know what's the sea there, what's the scuba diving there, what can I shoot. I need to take all my equipment with me. I need to take all the photo I can do.
Of course,
The
it's a
preparation is
different
good.
adventure. Every time it's a new
Yeah.
country, different experience, meeting new people. It's an adventure every time.
Yeah,
It is, and also Cuba is a good country.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things you should do.
They told me Cuba, it's like stayed in 1960, for example.
1960 is still there.
They're still
even
there.
the cars, even everything.
Yeah,
So the food will be wonderful.
if there is any world championship for photography in other country, you have to do your research or just Google it. Scuba diving in that country, or what I can do in that country. So you have to learn before you go there. But when I saw the Cuba or Havana, I said, no, I have to go. I have to go there. It's really nice.
It is really nice. But coming back to your professional career,
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you, so you are a coach, right?
Yeah, I am underwater photography instructor, but not a scuba diving.
Not scuba dive instructor.
No, but
Underwater photography.
Underwater photography.
So you
instructor.
teach your trainees or your students?
Like a workshop for the photographer. They are already diver, and they need to have the camera with them down under the water. So you can just give them tips, make like a workshop, more than a license. They will take a license, but it's like a workshop more than a course.
And do you think that, what if I came to you and my scuba diving is like 4 to 5 years old?
Okay.
Is it okay to say, okay, teach me how to do some underwater photography?
Exactly, but as I said before, you have to be familiar with your camera. What type of camera you need to take it with you underwater? For example, I don't want to say any brand, but action camera. They call it action camera. So is it action camera or professional camera? If it's a professional camera, there is another trainer or another training. If you have action camera, other training. Of course, the action camera is more easier than the professional. It depends on the diver himself what he needs. Professional or just like a trip, scuba diving trip.
Of course, and when it comes to, of course, the underwater photography, we talked about it. Do you find the support from family and friends enough, or do you need support? Do you get it from your friends? Because you mentioned you have your teammates with you.
Yeah, to be honest, my family, they are my first support to do this type of sport. Also, the second or the most important is the club. All the member of the MOD of the club, what they called him. The big boss of the club and his mate as well. They are supporting us by giving us the registration for the championship, the travel, also the authority of sport, the Kuwait Olympic community. They give us this
the support that you need.
Yeah.
Of course, I think that's very important for any athlete or anyone who have achievements and wish to do more in their lives, to actually have support from family, friends, and other places as well.
Yeah, it is wonderful, sir. But of course, since you have all of the support from the people around you, did you achieve your goal yet?
Not yet. To be honest, I need to get me and my team and my club the first or the gold medal in the World Championship. We got the 4th place in the World Championship and the 1st and 2nd in the Arabian Championship. But I need the first gold medal in the World Championship. That's my achievement for now. Later, I don't know what I'm going to do, but hopefully this year we can do it.
Hopefully you will, and it was really a pleasure to have you with us, Mahdi. That was an amazing interview. You taught us a lot about scuba diving, especially underwater photography. Thank you for being here with us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, and we are so glad to have you. And inshallah, and at the next time, we will see you as having the World Championship, the gold medal for you and for your friends. And with that, our viewers, we reached our time. Hope you enjoyed this episode. See you tomorrow, and goodbye.
Goodbye.